Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy Melvin, and let's get into it. So today we will be talking about the very successful Indian soap opera or melodrama KumKum Bhagya, internationally known as Twist of Fate. So Twist of Fate premiered in the year 2014, you guys, and it's actually still continuing up to now with over 2,200 episodes. The show follows the love story of Pragya and Abby. Pragya is a teacher and Abby is a rock star. So Abby is this, very composed, smart, articulate woman who has big dreams, and then Abby is this careless, free-spirited rock star. So and the mother of Pragya um owns this wedding hall, and she has dreams for her daughters Pragya and Bulbul to get married one day and settle down and have a family. So when Pragya and Abby meet, her life changes, for the can I say the worse, because yes, they love each other, but then there is so much that is always keeping them apart. So that's basically the show, right? It's a love story, but then there's always something that is going to keep them apart. It's called the twist of fate. There's always something that will pull them apart. Whenever you think this is it for them, then something happens. In the process, Pragya loses her sister Bulbul, who was the love of Purab's life. So Purab now finds a new love. She's called Disha, and then so it's that story that there's nothing for certain in this show. There's nothing that is permanent in this show. I've come to realize that, because it's always a revolving door of ridiculous and over the top storylines, which yeah, we enjoy. um there's this one time Pragya was in a coma, and then someone that looks exactly like Pragya came into the show. She had a niece and nephew that she wanted to protect, so that's why she had to come and pretend to be Pragya and stuff like that. And that went on for a few episodes, and then Pragya and Abby got into an accident. They lost their daughter. They had twins, and then their twins got separated when they left each other, and 20 years later they came back. So it's just one of those shows that it's really it's a melodrama. Like, it really has the drama. It's good. It's produced by Etka Kapoor. I think I'm saying that right. She is behind Nagin. So she's really an accomplished producer, which is good, and she really has done so much good. This is a very, very, very successful show. Internationally, it has a huge following. People are really into this show. But then now I am going to give my opinions on the show. Do I love the show? Yes, I do. This is amazing. I personally have watched it and I have enjoyed parts of it. But then sometimes I just think that parts of it are kind of unnecessary and really are just there for the longevity of it all, just for the sake of it. Like, in my opinion, I feel like we as fans, we need closure. We need to see Abby and Pragya have their happy ending. Can you imagine if for 2,200 episodes that we have watched this show loyally, and then the two actors that are Pragya and Abby decide to leave or to quit the show, and then they decide to write them off. God forbid they recast them. That is the number one option. Two, they decide to write them off in the sense that they kill them off. Now, I personally, as a fan, will feel very betrayed. That is number one. I will feel hurt. I will feel, then why did I watch from the year 2014 to now if they were just going to kill them off? I feel like the producers of this show, they owe us a happy ending with Pragya and Abby together. I feel like they owe us that much. I feel like in the end, and I really feel the end should be soon, because it's time to pull the plug on this show. It's time to end it. We've seen enough. I feel like in the end, Pragya and Abby need to have the happy ending, because it's been a recurring theme in this show. They get together, and then something happens, then Pragya leaves, she comes back years later, she lives again, she comes back years later, she gets into a coma, this happens, they leave, so it's always something pulls them apart, they find their way back to each other, and then something else happens, pulls them back. The very first time she went away for 7 years, and then she came back, the daughter was all grown, and then something happens, their daughter dies, and then she gives birth to the twins, and then one stays with the father, she lives with one, and then 20 years later, and then now 2 years later. First of all, let's start off with the very confusing time leaps this show has. This show has done a 7 years later, it has done a 20 years later, it has done a 2 years later, and now they have skipped to 1 month later. That is really unnecessary to give us 1 month later, but okay. So this show, since it has begun, it has run on a timeline of up to 30 years. Now, why am I quoting the time in this? It does not make sense for them to have given us 30 plus years of this show, right? And for Pragya and Abby to still look exactly the same. They have grown-up children now, 2 daughters, right? Why do they still look the same? They've given her glasses, and then that's all. They've given Pragya glasses, and then that's all. I'm not saying recast them with all the actors. That will be weird, because that is who the audiences love. That is who the audiences want to see. But then I feel like they could have done a better job at aging them a bit. I understand, yes, they age slower, yes, if you want to go with that excuse. But then I really feel like, if I have seen pictures of Pragya and her daughter side by side, and they look as if they're of the same age, I feel like the producers can try a bit much, a bit more makeup to make Pragya and Abby look a bit aged, and let's talk about them recasting an icon, a legend, Alia. So Alia is the sister of Abby, who hates Pragya, and she has done everything in her power to keep them apart. And she's also very much obsessed with Purab, who is the best friend of Abby. So Alia, for me, was honestly my fave. I love Pragya, but then I love Alia more. So I was actually sad to hear that Alia, the actress playing Alia, was recast. This happens when a show is on air for too long. Actors get tired. Actors want to branch out and to do other things. You can't have a show that has been running for so many years now, and I understand it's loved. So who in their right mind will end something that is such a moneymaker to them? Every time you put it on air, people are scrambling to consume your content. You will try to elongate it as much as possible, I understand. But then with something becoming more and more elongated, the essence of what the show is built upon fades away. The lovable aspects of this show start fading away, and this is what I'm afraid is happening to Twist of Fate. We have these characters that we love so much, and we have fallen in love with the love story of Pragya and Abby. But then they never give us what they promise. They always promise a happy ending for these two characters, but then for some reason something happens, and then they're torn apart, and then it's always the yearning for each other again, and then something happens and they're torn apart. It's been like this for 2,200 episodes, and we are tired of it. Personally, my opinion, I'm tired. I feel like Pragya and Abby should have their happy ending, and then with the new generation that has been introduced is when now you can continue for as long as you want. I am begging and pleading with the producers of this show, if you ever see this video, please give us closure. That is what we truly seek from Twist of Fate. Anyway, that is just my opinion. I'm just one man. I'm just one guy giving his opinion. Anyway, tell me your thoughts on the show. I mean, are you still watching up to now? I mean, yeah, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you later. Bye.